Hello and
Hello.
welcome to Weebanomics. This is Kyrie Luminous at KyrieLuminous on Twitter.com, and these are my co-hosts.
This
Mug.
is
Go in order.
at smugholmeslice on twitter.com.
Hello, I am Sonic Salesman at SonicWonky.com.
Hello, this is Kyrie Luminous at KyrieLuminous.twitter.com.
Oh, you would have said mines for a second.
Wait, did I just say at Stonky? Did I just say StonkyWonky.com?
No, you said at Stonks. I think you said at Stonks.
I think I said Twitter at StonkyWonky.com.
I don't know. I didn't hear too well.
Anyways,
Speaking of not hearing too well, we are talking about Shield Hero, where no one will ever hear out our main protagonist on anything until you force it into their face, which I'm much of a fan of doing.
it deals with my favorite subject matter, false rape charges.
Wait, what?
Why is that?
Why is that your favorite subject?
Don't worry about it.
I am worrying about it.
I mean, what's it called? I really love like just the subject matter in general.
I like the part where
Not in the case of it happening to him, but more of like a story of you like literally what happens when something like that big of a thing happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, who wants to explain the show?
Donks.
Why me? I literally don't know anything about it.
That's why I want to hear it.
No, Otaku, do it.
Stonks.
No. I refuse.
Okay.
Donks.
Well,
Alright, I can.
Okay, Smug, do it.
Okay, I'll do it. So, basically, what was I gonna? Okay, now I remember.
Basically,
it's about this guy named Naofumi.
it's about this guy and he has a shield. That's it.
Stop.
So
It's about
there's this guy. He has a shield, and he might be a hero.
Might be.
and he may rise.
And he also does the.
Yes,
He doesn't do the thing.
All right, seriously. I'll explain it. So, The Rising of the Shield Hero is a story about a guy who gets falsely accused and whatnot when you live inside a matriarchal world. But because he was, what's it called? But because he was, But because he was a hero, he couldn't get the death penalty. So they pretty much just punished him as they saw fit. The thing is, he didn't do any of it. He was falsely accused. He was set up by not only the princess, but he was also set up by the king himself. So he pretty much
basically all of society hates the Shield Hero.
Yes, all of it. Like every single one except for one, because he was a high level adventurer, blacksmith, and he could tell from just a glance that he didn't do it. Because I kind of want to see like what happens with the blacksmith later, because it's hinted that he's like a super high level, by the way.
I do want to see more of him in season 2, to be honest.
You don't, or do?
I do.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him in season 2.
Yeah. So pretty much he goes on his journey, but he can't do it alone because he has a shield. The shield's supposed to be the worst of the weapons there. And the reason for that being is it has absolutely, like, you can't attack, pretty much.
Like, you can only defend.
Yeah. And so he needs an entire team to help him out. But no one went and helped him out. Everyone was against him, except for the one that would betray him later. So instead, he goes and starts the story off by buying a slave. And thus the journey.
Slave, yeah.
and thus
He
the
buys.
journey starts.
He buys
Alright.
a child slave and then forces her to.
He
Alright.
just buys a child.
Yeah, she does. He does though.
He does.
Yeah.
All right, so what's it called? That's a synopsis, but I want to start getting into like the more specifics because I feel like this podcast can go for like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, because this shit is fucking
Oh
good.
god.
Like this show is just so fucking
I
good.
should
I
have-
love it.
I should have prepared with a can of monster or something.
All right.
I did prepare with a can of monster.
All right. So, let's talk about episode 1. Like holy fuck. Episode 1 was amazing.
This is one of the greatest openings to an isekai I've ever seen. Like, this is a very strong opening to an isekai.
So
And in general, actually.
So I still think this. I think that it went a little too fast, despite being almost an hour long. And I was like, but honestly, I don't think there was like any other option to do it any other way. Because when you think about it, like they want you to see the thing, like the catch of him being falsely accused in episode 1, and then they want you to have it also set up that he's going to do something you see as immorally wrong in like today's age and whatnot. So it shows him about to buy a slave. So
It ends with him about to buy a slave. The first episode.
Yeah.
Yep. And so what's it called? It wants to do all that in one episode, but that means they have to get through all the beginning as fast as they can to do that. Oh man.
Yeah, I just think that episode 1 was a little bit too much for just an hour.
Yeah,
I do imagine
He has to get
better.
summoned,
In
get explained to the world, get a party, get betrayed, and then buy a slave all in a span of an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's it called? Yeah, it was absolutely amazing of a first episode. I just wish it was a little longer or something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it also sets up a bunch of like, it doesn't just set
It
up
does
like
a lot
the
of time
basic plot
skips.
here. Yeah. Well, that, and also it sets up the whole multiverse sort of idea that it then goes on later
I don't
to
think
explore.
episode
it
1
does.
sets up a multiverse idea.
Well, it sort of does because it shows like the because it shows the idea of the
All of them are from
Four
different.
different
Oh,
universes.
true.
Four
I
different
guess
universes.
they
Yeah.
are. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. All of the other there's four heroes summoned total, but each of them comes from a different version of Japan from a different universe.
That kind of confused me when I first saw it.
But it's really weird how all of them come from 4 different versions of Japan, but all of them have like same ideas on morality.
Like there's one big thing different each time.
No, it's not just one thing. There's a lot different.
Like one big thing in history has changed.
We
for
don't
each
know.
of them.
We don't know if like it was just one big thing in history, but we do know they had completely and totally different versions of Japan. Like their money was all different. The span of what kind of technology they had at that time was different. Like what's it called? Remember, Naofumi, he was there with video games and whatnot, but he was a little clueless at what VMMORPG was. Because they were so far advanced that shit was just normal. Now Fumi got it from a fucking book, and and
Yeah,
shit
bro.
like the what's it called? Like something. I guess you could say something did change in the past, and because of that, it altered history to the point of almost nothing's the same except for the name Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did find out every single one of them have different versions of World War II.
is interesting.
I mean, yeah,
Very interesting. Yeah.
that is absolutely interesting when you think about it.
and just like breezes over it like in literally just a single sentence.
It's like, oh, we all have different versions of World War II.
You say it like that.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
But then that's also an idea, or just the idea of there being different universes that then is also brought up later, and I assume later in the story, in the novel, and in upcoming seasons, will be explored upon more. But we'll get to that later when
There's more seasons.
well, that and
There
also
are
just
3
later.
confirmed.
Yeah,
What are we-
I was kind of confused. Like they announced season 3 before season 2 even aired. Like what the hell? What?
Yeah. No, what's it called? They announced season 2 and 3 at the exact same time, which was at the
Yeah.
last episode. Oh man.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, damn. I think the company or whoever did it just did it because what's it called? To be fair, the first season of Shield Hero was super popular. You want to know how popular it was? It was the most watched anime at that time throughout the entire year in the whole world.
What else came out in? Wait, when did this come out? Over Demon Slayer? Wait,
Right?
No,
it came out in
at that
2019.
time.
Over Demon Slayer? Really?
At the time.
Oh, at the time.
What the hell?
No, Smug, or Stonks, you're not listening.
Yeah?
At the time of when it is, I'm almost positive Demon Slayer came slightly after.
No, it aired at the same time.
No, same year, but
Demon
slightly
Slayer,
after.
Yeah, Demon Slayer started in April of 2019. And Shield Hero ended in June of 2019.
Well, okay, and it was the most viewed. What's it called? Crunchyroll posted their statistics one day, and it showed the entire what's it called? The most viewed anime of the year, and it was the Rising of the Shield Hero in every single country. There was one country that had like one different anime, and I completely forgot. It was literally just one country.
Probably like China or something.
It was one of those European ones.
It was Israel.
Wait,
no, that's not
European
European.
anime?
No, European country. I don't
Oh.
remember which.
Probably like Germany or something.
I would definitely remember Germany for
Switzerland.
no
then.
particular reason.
Switzerland, Austria. Some German country.
But
Austria?
Yeah, Austria or something.
Australia.
No, Austria.
All right.
Everyone makes that joke. Otaku. Stop it.
All right. So back to stuff I actually know instead of the world. So the Rising of the Shield Hero, I really fucking love the first episode. Like the first trial. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love it because okay, so I believe the trial represents two things. Two very big things.
Yeah.
So can any of y'all guess it?
No idea.
No.
Smug. Smug,
Nope.
this is your domain.
Oh.
The
Well-
Tradcath you are. Bring the Tradcath out of you. What does the first trial represent?
I don't know. I can't think right now.
You
This is
can't.
gonna go. This is
Alright.
gonna go
Stop-
very
Stop
wrong. I
calling
think.
the audience and just go for it.
He was
Just say it.
sold. He was sold out and betrayed for a few pieces of silver.
Damn,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
Damn.
Oh man, so what's it called? Yeah, when it comes down to it, like she really did all of that. Well, for one, because she hated the Shield Hero, but at the same time, it was a lot to do with the money. Like, she actually wanted to rob him dry of everything, and that's why she
like a real woman.
Yeah, and that's why he wanted to go just she went absolutely full into that shit. It was insane.
Yeah.
But what the second thing I believe it also represents. Because you won't red pill anyone faster than doing exactly what she did, where you go there and like this is pretty much what happens in like divorce courts and everything, or family court or whatnot. But yeah, it's where it goes. You what's it called? The spouse or whatever will make an accusation and whatnot, and you have to prove your innocence. And what that normally does is you're starting off at the most massive disadvantage in the world, where everyone already believes you are guilty and everything. Because this is not like an actual court of law that it goes to, so you don't have innocence until proven guilty. Yeah, so what's it called? So you have to prove your innocence. There's no real way for you to prove your innocence. Not only that, but you're financially crippled because you have to pay absolutely everyone. And usually the one making the accusation, a lot of times, what's it called, can get a lot of people behind them. And if you, and there's a lot of laws about financial abuse if you don't pay for theirs. But yeah, what's it called? It goes even further than that and everything. And at the very end, when he's like throwing the money at them, it could still be seen as like, what's it called? Oh, both the Judas story of selling them out for some silver, or you could see it as like, what's it called? The government taking your money and forcing it to give it to the woman, and so he throws it to them, and write that, and it's like that's what you were after, as in like, i.e., you were after my money, you gold digging fish. But yeah, it's like it's a really nice story because it starts off like that, and then it goes into like the actual aftermath of what it is like to live after something like that happens to you. Because remember, all of society is like hating you because they all believe it's true. All of society, every last one of them, except for one. So every last two of them.
One except one.
Every last two of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay, every last two of them hates it. And then what's it called? So, and you can see this by him getting like the worst deals in society, like the absolute worst of the worst, where someone can pay two balloon monsters and get 1 copper, but he was told 20 is 1. So he's doing like 10 times worse, and then he has to force them to give them a fair deal, like with literal violence.
Yeah.
I heard I heard in the visual novel, or I mean the manga or whatnot, the light novel. God damn it!
Light novel.
Yes, there. In the light novel, I heard, which I haven't read, but I heard he's like a lot more like red pill based and badass. Like he like what he does to the merchants, he doesn't do to just one, and he does it often, and he does it more mercilessly. So it's like anyone that keeps trying to rip him off, he will keep sicking more monsters on them until they give him a fair deal. It's just like, oh man, I really, really fucking love this show. Because it really is like that when something like this happens to you. Literally everyone is against you. People will believe it at the drop of the hat, and will go out and actually remember, he almost just got jumped and beat for the accusation alone. If it wasn't for the fact that he could tell when someone's lying and telling the truth, he would have got jumped. Just for literally what's it called, the accusation alone. Anything y'all have to say about episode 1?
You pretty much
Pretty much,
covered it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man,
You're really good.
so
You really went into this deep.
oh yeah, I think what's it called, I've seen about 1,000 anime, but Shield Hero is probably within my top 20.
Seriously? What the hell? Holy shit!
What's it called? So when I talk about all this and whatnot, I really fucking love Shield Hero. And also when he goes and so here's the thing I love about it so much is everything that Naofumi does, like everything. If you were told with no context of Naofumi, he sounds like the worst, absolute gravest monster to ever walk this earth. And the other heroes sound like the most historic and almost fairy tale like kind of heroes.
Like
but
the,
if you look,
like a white knight kind of thing.
But if you look and actually analyze in context of what is actually happening, you know the truth is actually flipped. That Naofumi is the actual amazing one, and all the other people are unintentionally terrible. Like I can't with a good heart say that they're actually like evil, irredeemable people. The only one is of course bitch.
Yeah.
And you know, like I don't mean like any of the heroes. All the heroes are actually just 100% trying to do what they believe to be correct.
Yeah. Well, it's more that because you know they literally are just kids essentially. You know, they don't exactly take this whole ordeal like.
Seriously.
It's not that they don't take it well, yeah, they don't take it that seriously because they don't. Yeah.
They still think it's a game because remember, if they believe that if they die, they just go back to the world.
Yeah. So yeah, they like the rest of the heroes except all of them do, and well, I would say that like the Sphere hero is a bit. He's not like evil per
He's
se.
the worst.
He's gullible.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's easily manipulated.
Yeah.
It's to the point that what's it called? The others I can give a pass to and everything, but he's to the point that he's so gullible and everything like that to the point that I wouldn't care that his intentions aren't evil in itself or anything, and him truly believing it. I think he's a shit person for being that gullible.
Yeah.
Especially because of he gets proven in front of everyone that that she has been lying to him about everything. Like everything she was accused of, he got proven right in front of his face that she was lying. And then he was forced to have a slave contract with her and ask her, which is actually hilarious, by the way, unintentionally hilarious, that he's so trusting of her that he doesn't believe that she actually did it. And so her pretty much telling him that she didn't do it is a punishment, because now he's asking her every single question over again, and she's getting zapped.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, Poetic irony. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little more when it gets to that point. But I think that was just like just absolutely hilarious. So he is like to the point of as Naofumi said, it is it's not there's trusting your friends, and then there's being taken advantage of and and being manipulated. And it's like, yeah, he is 100% that to a fault. The other people are somewhat guilty of it, but nowhere near as much. And if they actually believe something is wrong, they will step up and say it. Which, what's it called? Remember, like, they were the ones that found out that Bitch went and interfered with the duel. They were the ones that, what's it called? Talked to the king and forced him to, what's it called? And forced him to give him the money, because when it came down to it, it was wrong to not give him the money because they charged him for something that they did. They they undid the slave contract and then not redid one. They actually just undid it. And it's like, oh, you got to pay for undoing the slave contract. It's exactly the amount that we're rewarding you. And they're like, no, you did it because he lost a duel, only because y'all ignored the fact that the duel was compromised and whatnot. And so the king had to withdraw that judgment because it looked really bad on them that every single hero, except for one, just came out against him and actually made sense. But yeah, so let's get to more of the episodes. All right, is there any part y'all want to talk about?
I just like it that like in between episodes. So I want to have it about Raphtalia for a second.
I was going to.
In
Sure,
between
go.
like episode 3 and 4, Raphtalia just becomes instantly hot.
Reminds
like
me of a friend that dropped the show because of that.
Like she just gained like 10 years of her life.
Yeah.
Well, it's explained. Her race grow up
When they
and
level up. Yeah, like when they level up, they also grow up.
No. So they grow and age with their level. So
Yeah, I know.
they could actually stay a kid forever if they just don't level. But what's it called? The thing is, they grow in age as they level, but they get to, like, I would say, like, around their 21, they stay like that look forever.
Yeah.
Until they die.
Damn.
So
damn, I wish I could.
It's like, damn, that is the absolute perfect wife.
Yeah, bro.
But what's it called? Yeah. What else were you saying about it? Anything else besides that?
So I was like, okay, so I know that she is going to become older, and I thought it would be that you could see her get older in an episode, but no, it's just like a time skip between episodes.
Well, what's it called?
I'm a little disappointed of that, but it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost it is instant, but the thing is, you don't notice.
It's completely instant between episode like 3 and 4, then kick. Or I think
it took me a while to notice, but what's it called? He kept still calling her a kid and everything like that, and I was always like, what? And he kept calling people lolicons. For everyone.
I'm not surprised.
What's it called? For everyone liking her. But so the thing was, he was so depressed, so everything, he couldn't do anything. Like, okay, so this next part that I'm going to say, there's actually a lot of argument online about the next few episodes on what actually happened. And I call bullshit on what some of them were saying, because I've read what it is that they were referring to, and it sounds completely different. All right, so I actually believe that him like not seeing Raphtalia as like an actual like person, like an actual like adult, and still sees him as a child, her as a child and whatnot, is a bit because he's like super fucking depressed and everything like that, to the point that
He's still confused.
to the point that he was just like so fucking like untrusting of the world and everything. He was so untrusting of everyone. He couldn't trust anyone just at all. He couldn't do any of that. Like, he didn't see Raphtalia as like a human at the time. He saw her as like a tool. But once he started actually trusting her and actually like living like a better life and found someone that made him no longer hate the world and everything about the world, that's when he could see that she was no longer a kid. She was actually an adult. He started tasting food and everything like that. So
Then she grew a couple of ages.
well, that's because he actually started seeing her for who she was rather than who he just thought at the time.
Thought she was. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the second explanation that people say. All right. So when that happens, he unlocks something called the Curse series. And so apparently he was cursed at the time to not be able to see them. He was cursed with bad luck. That's why everything's happening to him. And he was like he had an actual curse that just made him not able to see Raphtalia for who she was, and made him like distrusting of everyone. And when she went and hugged him and everything like that, the curse was lifted and undone, because it was supposed to pretty much be like one of those like curses that everyone, like, no one's going to trust you, no one's going to like you, no one's going to do anything. But once someone embraces you while having the curse breaks.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. I saw the wording on it. Yes, a curse series activates during that time, but I don't believe that is what it was referring to, because I believe that his shield was reacting to all the hatred all around him, and him getting that angry. It was the most angry he has ever been since the trial, and that was leveling up his shield's hatred, which one of his abilities later on allows him to channel all the hatred he's felt at one point in time, or in all the points in time.
And that he becomes Red Eyes.
Yep. And and because of that, that is when the Curse series activates. So I've read the Curse series things. I've read that part of the light novel that deals with the Curse series, and I think it's a little out of context to believe that it was actually a curse on him. But yeah, those are the two theories. Take that as you will. I believe I like the first one a lot more.
I like the first one too.
Yeah.
But okay, so I want to say that whole like slave thing. So I really like it. I really like it a lot. But after the duel, I wanted to talk about one thing that pissed me off right after the duel, and that is the dub.
What did the dub do again?
What did the dub do? What did the dub do? Has anyone seen the Shield Hero dub?
I have.
Have you also seen the sub?
I
Yes,
don't
I
want to
have.
talk about it.
So, Smug, you've seen both of them, right?
Yes.
All right. Do you notice any difference between Raphtalia's speech? It could be a yes or no, because it is a major difference, but at the same time, it's a small difference. It's a small difference in the speech, but major difference in the philosophy of the speech.
No, I didn't notice.
So, when everyone was called... Okay, so here's what I love about the speech, because it actually encapsulated a lot of what I actually really loved about the show. Is that when everyone was demonizing Naofumi and everything like that, they went hard on him and was pretty much like, we're heroes, we're good, and everything like that. He is a monster. He did that to women. You're unsafe. He's buying slaves and everything like that. So, out of context, that's really fucking bad. But then you hear in context, and it's like, what's it called? Is Raphtalia pretty much saying, sure, he bought a slave. He saved me from the slave master. What's it called? He gave me medicine. He made me feel better. He only had me fight twice, or like 3 times. He only had me fight whenever I was too scared to fight and would have died if I didn't do it. And it was like, that's the point. You shouldn't be doing it at all. And what's it called? But at that, also, no matter what, if he saw it was too much, he did offer to give his life away to save her. He pretty much said, never mind, you can run away. I'll hold this off. And he was going to, he was literally ready to die for her and everything. And without the slave ordering thing, she found out, it's like, no, I can trust him. I can do it. I don't want that to ever happen again. I need to become stronger. And goes and kills it herself. Because he finds out, one, ordering someone to do something that they don't want to do is inefficient. So if you get someone to want to actually do it, want to trust you, want to actually be part of the team, rather than just treating them like an actual object, it makes it a lot better for both parties in the end. By the way, he has a highly capitalist mindset, which, by the way, that is a highly capitalist mindset. But enough about that. But what's it called? He goes into it. So out of context, yeah, that sounds bad. But in context, it not only isn't bad, but it's actually really fucking like good of a person to do. Because what's it called? Remember, she was pretty much said that she was going to die, like face down, and she was living a miserable life. She was getting whipped, abused, and everything like that all the time. And he pretty much clothed her, fed her, gave her medicine, gave her a purpose in life, got her to be a lot stronger, got her to not be scared of things nearly as much anymore, got her to actually have fun, smile. She forgot how to smile because of how bad of a life she was having. And this all ties into the speech that she gives to Spear Hero. And she asked Spear Hero, and it's like, could you do any of that? He goes, yeah, I could. He's like, oh, really? No, you can't. Because if you could do that, you would have a slave by your side. Why don't you go adopt and save a slave? And what's it called? That's the thing. The Spear Hero is 100% of the mentality of you can't get a slave for any reason ever. Even if it's to save them. What's it called? Because the idea of owning a slave is like the most horrendous shit ever. But in context, Naofumi only has her as a slave in name. She's only a slave in name. And it's to represent the trust and bond they have with each other. Remember, the slave crest was removed. But she trusts Naofumi so much that she was able to go and put the slave crest right back on her. Because she trusts Naofumi so much that she trusts that he won't do anything bad with it. Naofumi at the time, he couldn't trust anyone without the slave crest. Remember, all of his party members would get the slave crest. And that's so that he could make sure that, that they wouldn't ever betray him or anything like that. Understandably so, because of everything that was happening to him ever since he entered the world. So, it was like a 10 out of 10 scene, everything like that, throughout the entirety of the thing. So what does the dub do? So after all of that, Raphtalia is giving her speech and asked him, can you do that? He says, yeah, I can. And she pretty much just says something along the lines of, you're a liar. You would have a woman next to you if you could do that. And I was like, what? Like, what's it called? They specifically avoid using the term slave. Like, because it wasn't the first time she says slave or the last time in there. But every mention of slave during that conversation was stripped and replaced with a different word. And the reason why it has to specifically be slave in that context is because the context is showing that even if you are seen as a good person because you're doing an inherently evil action, quote unquote inherently evil, in context, that inherently quote unquote evil action is actually really good and saving of someone. To replace it with anything else, such as just a woman or something like that, is defeating the entire purpose of that speech. Because it's like, oh, he has mine next to him. Well, so for one, that doesn't work. He has like other people next to him. It doesn't work. He saves people. I mean, sometimes he saves people. So like all of her examples are not working. It was specifically to be slave because he wouldn't allow himself to stain the what's it called? The reputation of what it means to be a hero. He had too much honor to go and buy a slave and save them because of what it seems like, rather than not care of how people perceive him and actually do the right thing while buying a slave. So that's not the only time when something like that happens. It actually happens a lot throughout the dub, is where they're doing like what's it called? They're showing an action that is supposed to be like in society seen as like completely evil, but in context it is seen like a lot better. But the thing is, in the dub, they keep trying to muddy the waters a lot because the sub pretty much looks down upon the people that weren't buying slaves and saving them. And they couldn't, and translating it into the dub, they didn't want that to be the message.
I mean, how do you call it? The dub was also directed by Crunchyroll, so I'm not surprised.
It unironically was probably my most hated dub I've ever seen, which I actually was liking the voices.
Yeah.
But when I saw like a few times that some changes that were here and there, but the moment it got to that scene, I said, I'm done. I never watched the dub again.
Mm.
Like that scene just like completely took me out of the dub, and I never watched it ever again. What's it called? Not to mention the amount that it just made me hate that scene for the dub, and also make Raphtalia seem fucking stupid as shit. And you can't even make the argument that they changed the lines for lip flaps. You can't make that argument in that scene, because guess what? When she's yelling and everything like that, she's off screen. she is actually off screen, so you can't make the lit flap arguments that everyone always makes.
Like the syncing with mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes hate it in anime general, but like this one just didn't make any sense.
Oh man, I was just like ready to freaking throw my laptop out the fucking window. All right, so that as you can see, I really fucking love the show, but there's a lot of things that could piss me off. Usually has to deal with the dub. But that's not the only thing that's ever pissed me off, because there are stuff that pissed me off with the sub. Not because it's a sub, but because there's actually some legitimately bad writing inside this story.
I hate that princess.
I don't think she's well, okay, I can't say she's not a badly written
You
character.
cannot say she's a good character.
What's it called? Okay, so I think she's a good character at like the beginning and everything like that. But
yeah,
when
before the betrayal.
No.
Yes.
No. What's it called? I'm talking about which trial? You mean the very first trial?
Yeah.
I'm talking about she's a good written character.
Yeah, but she's not a good character.
Oh, no one's saying that. But
I am saying that.
You're saying she's a good character? All right.
I am not saying she's a good character.
I just said no one's saying that, and you said you are saying that.
I say.
Okay, so what's it called? I think she was really well written up until the point that she becomes Team Rocket.
It's just fucking Team Rocket. She's becoming Jessie.
She literally did. Think of it. At the beginning, there was a lot of reason for her to like really go hard on Naofumi and everything, really to go after it. Maybe the second time could even be justified and whatnot. But after that, when Naofumi is just like picking fight, well, no, he's not picking fights with her. She picks fights with him, and he just retaliates last back and beats them every single time from then on. Like, why does she keep going back to him? Why does she keep trying to do all that to him? Why, everything like that? And almost every time from them forward is almost the most petty of reasons. Like, at least the first two somewhat make sense and whatnot. Like, what's it called? But I would say the first one at least makes sense. From them that moment on, the rest is just petty, and they're just happen to keep meeting up with them. It's like, oh, you just happen to be here. Let's battle. You looked at me funny. Let's battle. So the first time it was, all that for the money. The second time is she got jealous of Raphtalia because what's it called? Because Spear Hero was looking at Raphtalia and actually liking her and like whatnot. The next time, what's it called? It's he sees Raphtalia again and whatnot, and so she gets pissed off because he pretty much insults both of their intelligence of not knowing how much it takes to live at that place, and they're charging like an outrageous 50 silver tax, which pretty much would destroy that place. And so he goes and fights them. And then the next time it's because he's looking at Philo, and she gets jealous again. The next time, it's like, it just keeps getting more and more petty as it goes on. Like, every time she forces them into a battle. Ultimately, the reason is that they hate the shield hero. They believe him to actually be the devil. They're a bunch of freaking hardcore religious people. But Like, that's the big reason that they always have, but they don't just always act upon that literally at every exact moment. It usually has to have some kind of trigger, and the trigger being usually some very petty reasons. But it's like one of those things of where someone you already don't like does something mild you dislike, that if anyone else said, you probably wouldn't care, but because it was them, it affects you like a whole lot more. Something along those lines. And it's like, so when it comes down to it, they literally just became Jesse and James, Spear Hero and her. And that's when I thought it was just getting a little ridiculous. Yeah, so is there any more scenes y'all want to talk about?
I want to talk about that dinosaur.
Oh, the dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah, dinosaur right after
Yeah,
the
the
war starts.
dinosaur.
Yeah,
The dinosaur.
I like the part where he got stepped on, like the moment after he released it. That was
Yep.
hilarious.
I laughed so hard. He goes and is like, destroy everything. First thing it does, steps on him and kills him. I mean, he didn't specify to keep him safe. So, yeah. There was also 0 dino balls.
Yeah.
There was 0. It does a close up of the crotch, and there was 0 dino balls.
Smug was very sad at that moment.
Yes. Why it did a close up, I have absolutely no idea, but it did.
At that moment, Smug was very sad.
Smug was.
Smug was like, damn, I wanted to see some dinosaur balls.
But yeah. What back to what I was saying, like, we were being attacked by bad CGI right there.
Like, that's the main reason I don't really like this anime that much, because of the creatures are just very choppy CGI. Like, if you
I always hate the argument. It's like, oh, do you like this scene?
like,
And it's like, yeah,
have
sure.
good CGI, have
Like,
good CGI or have good frame rate.
So let's go. I remember people were like, it's like, oh, have you seen this scene? And you are like, yeah, sure, it's good. It's like, guess what? It has CGI. And it's like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's it called? For one, I shouldn't be able to tell. But two, what's it called? What's it called? And it's like, yeah, it's a good scene, not because of CGI. It's in spite of CGI. Like, it literally would be better if there was no CGI in it. And it's like, I always hear like these CGI arguments, and they're always like really fucking funny to me. Just to think about, and it's like, damn, you think we're liking this scene because of the CGI or in spite of the CGI? It's like that's the question I always have to bring up to them. But yeah, okay, so that's when you meet the giant chocobo.
Chocobo.
The queen chocobo, which would be Philo, when she reaches max level, and that giant chocobo just going and being there. It's like, it shows like they're fighting like for dear life to freaking kill this dinosaur, but they can't even hurt it. They can't scratch it. They can't do anything. And then the giant chocobo is like, oh, give me the crystal and then leave, and I might spare your life. And then the dinosaur's like, fuck you, and goes, charges, and tries to bite them. He's like, okay, kicks them. He's like, are you sure you want to continue? Gets up, starts to charge again. And then she goes like at hypersonic speed and just slices slices the freaking gem right out of the dinosaur and kills it in one hit. It's like, damn, like the others couldn't even fucking scratch the dinosaur, and then the giant chocobo just one shot it like it's nothing.
Yeah, bro.
That was good. All right, so I said that this dinosaur was right after the worst arc in the show. So I always remember every time I watch Shield Hero, it's like there is a worst arc in the show. I just don't remember it. I always fade it from my memory, but after watching it, I always remember, oh yeah, this is that one arc I really fucking hate, and I know exactly why I hate it, but
Wait,
only
which one
right
was it
after
again?
watching it. What?
Which one was it again?
The childhood friend arc.
Oh no, no.
I always hated this arc so much. Smug, do you like this arc? Do any of y'all like the childhood friend arc?
It wasn't awful.
Ow! I'm cutting that out.
I
That
mean, I
fucking
was
hurt.
kind of just.
I did not like this.
All right, Smug, what do you
This
say?
is just why I hate I just don't even want to talk about it. I hate it so much.
Smug, so what did you say?
Well, I don't know if I'd say I necessarily liked it, but I didn't downright hate it.
All right, Stonks, why do you hate it?
Because it fucking confused me. Like
Oh, nothing about it confused me.
I was so confused by the end of it.
I'm actually
How?
curious why.
Honestly, I don't even remember anymore. But
Ugh.
I got so confused, and that I just, you know,
No,
Okay.
we don't. That's why
No.
we're
Yeah,
asking.
we literally don't.
like I got very confused, and at the end, then the arc ended. That's all I remember.
It's okay. You'll one day figure out your sexuality.
I hate you too.
Just messing with me. All right, so let me explain why I really, really hate this arc. All right. This childhood friend arc, I really hate it. So when we go into it, what's it called? It pretty much starts off with Raphtalia still having the same nightmare, or seemingly having the same nightmare of back when her parents died. But it actually was of this childhood friend. And then, what's it called? They meet the slave master guy and whatnot, and then they find out about him, and it's like, oh, okay. So this person just like instantly came right in front of Raphtalia, and then she almost wants to kill him because he's searching for the shield hero. He's searching for any of that. He's arresting royalty that's suspected of hiding the shield hero and whatnot, and also kidnaps the princess. Possibly was going to rape her, but what's it called, and everything like that. So when it comes down to it, she goes and is like wanting to kill him, but Naofumi stops her and whatnot. Only for later to them start sieging the castle and everything. And then as they are sieging the castle, all the flashbacks and all the story is just dumped right there of everything about the childhood friend, because you know absolutely zero about them beforehand. It's like, okay, let's dump it all there. Boom. All right. Now I meet the person there. Boom. He dies. All right. Now I go into the cage. Boom. Oh, she's been dead the entire time. It's like, Do you know how fucking slow, like fast of a time span that was?
See, that summary also confused me.
So what's it called? That time span was almost nothing. It's literally you get flashbacks of who this person is. In the very next scene, they're dead. It's like, what's it called? It's literally wanting the, what's it called, you to feel bad for this childhood friend when you know absolutely nothing about them, and they were not hinted to even exist throughout the entire show. And instead, it's actually kind of worse that it wasn't hinted at all throughout the entire show because, okay, so remember, they've been relaxing. They literally were going to hot springs. They were having fun and living life and doing it all carefree. But then all of a sudden, Raphtalia goes, "Oh, this is where one of my friends have been held captives for a long time. We need to save them right now. We have no time to waste." And it's like, what?
Who?
You're telling me you've been literally going to hot springs and enjoying time, having fun, literally traveling the world, and you never, throughout the entire time, wanted to mention that you had childhood friends that were captured and enslaved and need to be saved? Never? Not even once? It didn't cross your mind when you were traveling with him for months? Not even a single time? And now we're all getting like this giant freaking exposition dump all right before the person just happens to go in front of you. Like, are we really gonna say that? It's like, oh, now that he showed himself in front of me, I now remember everything he did. It's like, I don't know, if I was I think that would be like one of my top priorities. It's like,
No, it's
like when it comes down to it, like I really hated this art because it really could have like mentioned it somewhere. It could have been like what's it called? This one thing where Raphtalia is saying like we need a, like it could have even been a passing mention of like Raphtalia saying that she needed to save someone, but she also believes we're not strong enough, so they go and train and keep leveling and what. You could have kept like the same thing, but like eventually try and go and save them and whatnot and be like, we were too late. Like you could have still had like the entire payoff. They could have been thinking about her and like trying to get strong for like the sake of saving them, and by the time they get there, it's already killed. And then after that, you can have all those hot spring episodes, like them having fun and whatnot. But at the, like, if it was me, I was like, I would assume that that would be like one of my like top things on my mind is, hey, all my friends are literally captured and enslaved, being beaten and abused, whipped daily, not giving medicine, bones being broken. And it's like, damn, how can you like go in and just like completely forget about all that and not even bring it up once?
kind of hate this arc now too.
It's just so confusing.
And what's it called? It's like that's probably the worst part, but it's not the only bad part about this art. All right, now let's get to the part where she is fighting him. All right, she goes, fights him, and pretty much gets him down. He, like, remember, he was like about to do something to the princess, the good one. And what's it called? Now let's talk about is like, now when she finally can get her revenge, she could do whatever. She doesn't do it because killing him would make her exactly like him. Despite the fact that she is literally protecting people when she's doing it. And is actually, what's it called? If he ends her, or if she ends him, she's actually saving a lot of fucking demi-humans. Because he's literally trying to keep on doing it over and over and was not going to stop. It's like so the thing is, I see so many stories do the what's it called? If I do it, I'd be just like them. But there's very few I've ever actually seen to where that is actually accurate. But this story wanted to have its cake and eat it too. So not only did it go to the point of what's it called? It was like, oh, what's it called? We can't have I can't get my revenge. I'll be just like them. But he still dies. By the way, he goes and falls out of the window, hits his head on the concrete, and supposedly dead. And so at that point, it's like, what? It's like, so you get to have your revenge, all while saying you're better than having revenge. And it's like, so whatever. Besides the way, by the way, people usually tend to forget, like, what's it called? What they're expected to do is like bring it to justice and whatnot and everything like that. When for one, it's legal to own demi slaves and everything like that, and two, what's it called? People just forget police is just a monopoly on illegal fucking illegal revenge. But two, what I'm also talking about is like he dies like 100%. So this whole like letting him live and everything like that is like not a real like thing, like consequence of the story. Like the only thing that happens when they let him live is he releases that one monster, which is a bit of an asshole. And he dies directly after that. If the story really wanted to go with the let him live thing and live with his actions and whatnot, it should have shown that she was above taking revenge, but in doing so, he lives and kidnaps even more demi-humans, does a lot more shit, and keeps out his ways, and then she has to find it in herself to either not kill him or something like that, or if they are going to kill him and whatnot, and decide what they're going to do. But the story kind of cops out on it and just has the story just kill him, dino squish.
Yeah.
And it's like I really hate that. It's like there's so many things they could have done that would have been interesting with that arc. That arc could have been so fucking well written. But I think everything about that arc was written bad from literally the beginning to the end. Like, I can't really see any good writing throughout that entire arc. Ugh. I don't know. What about you, Smug? You said you wouldn't really call it bad. What good parts do you think there are?
Well, I didn't. Well, I said it more just like
You wouldn't
indifferent
hate it.
to it.
You said you wouldn't hate it. I would assume there's some parts you like.
I'm more just indifferent to it.
Like,
Like, what?
like,
I don't know why I'm indifferent to you. Okay, just am. Like, I can't really explain my indifference. I can't really explain why I don't really care that much about it either way.
I'm indifferent to your indifference.
I'm indifferent to Stonk's confusion.
I
Okay.
still don't understand why Song's confused.
like,
Because he's small-brained.
I am very
Come on.
small brain.
Don't be like that, Smug.
I shouldn't be talking.
No, he's right. I'm very small brain.
Yeah, but so am I. So, like, it equals out. Okay, never mind.
All right.
What
So,
were we talking about again?
Shield Hero.
Yeah.
What's that? A sandwich?
A woman
What's
did
that?
make
Can
it.
I eat it?
Just joking. Actually, I think the writer's supposed to actually be a woman. Yeah, I remember that.
I think so.
Yeah, the controversy, but then people are saying it's like, oh, a lot of people use fake aliases and whatnot. It's like they couldn't be a woman. They could be a man or a woman. Who knows? We can't just go by the what Anon says. It's like, oh, so you don't think them identifying as a woman is enough for them to be a woman?
And it's phobic as fuck.
Damn.
Oh man, it just makes me laugh. Because everyone that hates this show uses like the most hilarious arguments. It makes me laugh. And so yeah, I say fuck the dub of this, and I actually do want to make a video me like watching the dub and then watching the sub and like comparing the two, and those scenes like actually talking in depth about it, because I know I'm misremembering a little bit of that scene, and I remember there was like a much bigger reason I hated it. But remember, I haven't seen that scene since pretty much the day the dub released.
Felt like at the end of the this episode, like a comparison of that speech from sub and dub.
Yeah, I want to go in a full deep dive of comparing those two speeches, and because I remember there was something said in that speech that made Raphtalia sound like an actual moron, and that pisses me off, especially because of how much I fucking love Raphtalia. It's like, it's one thing to ruin the writing, it's another to insult your waifu. It's
Don't.
So what's it called? All right. So any other scenes y'all want to talk about? I still got like 5 more.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I think I talked about my scenes.
Smug.
Smug.
Not really, no.
Kyrie
Kyrie
fucking died.
Kyrie fucking died. Smug too. No. I guess it's just the two of us now.
Just the two of us.
Yeah. Oh, I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah,
Let
Kyrie!
me think. What scenes do I like? I liked. Oh man, there's so many good scenes. But you should just do your scenes, and
Yeah.
you
Let
probably want
Kyrie
to cover my
think.
scenes.
Let
Now
Kyrie think.
I want people to explain their scenes, because it might be a scene I'm going to talk about later, and I don't want to steal all of the scene.
Let Kyrie think.
Okay. Let me see. I like the holy weapon from the 3 church people.
Ooh,
Yes, I love that. That was awesome.
I love
And
that
it's like,
scene.
I actually I missed one scene where it's like he said something really mean to his followers, but they still listened to him anyway.
Yeah.
I missed that. I missed the like 2 seconds of the show, and it was like, I can't believe he would say that. And I was like, what the fuck did he say? But I was
So
too scared to actually rewind.
yeah, so I can actually tell you. So this is what happens: is they were warning him that, hey, you got to end this fast. If you keep this up, all your followers will die, because some of them are passing out from using too much mana, and if they keep going, they're gonna die. And they should be honored to die, and go out as matriarch. This is a battle of God versus the devil. Is martyrs. I meant martyrs. They're going to be actual martyrs for the cause. This is the greatest honor they could ever hope for in their entire life. That's pretty much what he said.
Dick.
So he was literally saying it's good that his people were dying because it's worth the fight. And he pretty much was also saying, like, if they die on this battlefield, they will be saved by God in the afterlife. Like, he was pretty much like 100% like super like getting these people like actual like cult mentality.
Yeah, I love the cult stuff.
Like that was beyond being religious, and that was just flat out cult. Ugh.
And then even through it all, Naofumi, he barely wanted to work with the other heroes no matter what. They were a pain in the ass. And I agree with him. I'm glad eventually they're just less than side characters.
Yeah. uh no, yeah, that was the thing. Like, a lot of the people just weren't. Naofumi did not want to work with them at the beginning and whatnot, and then once he started seeing just how strong like he was, he's like, all right, we have to work together. And then that's when it started unlocking the combo moves. And oh my god, the combo moves were nice. But
Yeah.
and this was also when Naofumi unlocked his strongest ability yet. Blood sacrifice.
That was a crazy move.
Oh man, that was an amazing move. Blood sacrifice.
Lord the sacrifice.
That the fact that it just nearly kills him to use it. If not everyone being there was like there, like he had the highest level of treatment, he had the highest level of holy water, he had the highest level of absolutely everything, and even then he almost died. They almost couldn't save him.
And even then, he was still cursed.
Yep, for a month after. Until those flames undid his curse. Well, I don't think the flames undid it. I think they said it relieved a lot of his curse. I don't know if it like fully 100% undid it. Yeah, so like he was feeling a lot better after getting hit by that flame. You know, the friendly one that happened on a scene we could talk about later.
Yeah. Blood the sacrifice.
Oh man, blood sacrifice was amazing. I really wish it wasn't that weird it looked so fucking weird. Like the way the CGI is, it looked so fucking weird. The priest, the way he was like standing and whatnot, he was like, he was literally like what's it called? He had his legs spread and whatnot, and no matter what way it moved, he kept them like still and sturdy. And he had the staff like keeping the mouth open and everything until the staff broke, which is actually, what's it called, a little disappointing that the weapon itself broke. They broke the weapon. What's it called? But I guess technically it's for the best, maybe? Nah, probably not. But what's it called? But yeah, they broke the weapon. That weapon is like the strongest weapon that's supposed to be there. Supposed to be, you know, on par with using legendary heroes if you have enough people. But yeah, that chapel, the fucking Sistine Chapel, fucking ability, like you could see that, like how much it helped. Like it drastically increased his attacking. It drastically increased his barriers. And when he got stabbed, he was instantly regenerating. Like, he got stabbed quite often, but he would instantly regenerate. Because that's what a lot of the power was used for. But Blood Sacrifice, it literally did so much damage, it went past the regeneration part. It just instantly killed him. Which, by the way, glasses do not float to the top of a blood puddle.
I don't think anything floats in a blood puddle.
That's not true. There's quite a few things
Really?
that do.
But I'll need to get more puddles of blood. Experiment a bit.
Oh no.
But what's it called? The fact that the glasses like all of a sudden floated up to the surface, like, damn, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be complaining that their glasses fall into blood or water as much if glasses just float. Of course, yeah, blood is thicker than water. I know. Mm-hmm.
I think Otaku knows very well.
Yes.
How
But
many people have you killed?
Many
Many.
many men.
and women.
I mean, it's got to be at least 3.
Sure, is that low? Okay, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, I really liked the fight. The fight was pretty cool. The blood sacrifice. I kind of wonder if Naofumi saw like what the sacrifice was before doing the ability. Like a lot of them go and it's like I think Naofumi sacrificed himself for us, and they're like all crying and everything and trying to heal him and whatnot. And it was just like one of those things, and I was like, they were assuming Naofumi knew, and I was like, I'm kind of curious if Naofumi actually did know,
Me too.
because there wasn't he just unlocked it in the battle, and so he was. I'm curious if he read, like if it showed what the sacrifice was. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't think he knew.
Ugh. I could see maybe what's it called? Yeah, I don't think he actually knew. And like while everyone assumed he did, I don't think he actually did, because the very first time he used it, blood the sacrifice, and then all of a sudden all the blood just drains from him. Remember, he first said it's like it failed, and then he like was about to fall and whatnot, and then all of a sudden all that blood that he used for blood sacrifice became the weapon. Ooh. But oh yeah, the freaking teeth closing on it, oh my god, that is amazing. So when the blood sacrifice goes and chews up the Pope and whatnot, and all the blood from the Pope is squeezed out of like its neck and just like rains down and everything, I thought that was like so fucking badass. When that freaking dragon thing takes a bite out of people and it just has blood pouring out of everywhere, like it literally was raining blood. What do y'all think of that? Ooh.
That's crazy.
Oh man, that ability. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
That ability was an amazing ability. I loved it. Oh man, I really love that. All right, so I have quite a few more scenes to talk about. I guess I'll go again.
This is your anime. You enjoy it.
The second
talk about
trial.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna be here for another like 2 hours. So
I don't
It's okay.
mind.
I don't mind
me
either.
too.
Otaku's having fun. Let's do this.
All right, the second trial. Oh my god, I love the second trial so much. Is there like what do y'all like about this trial?
I
forgot
I liked all the times where mine gets like shocked. That's part. She's such a pathological liar, even though she knows it's gonna happen. She keeps doing it. It's hilarious.
Wasn't that the one where he tried to protect like the village or something?
No. The second I'm talking
Trial.
about
That's the first one, I think.
like the actual trial. Like there's a lot like many non-official trials, but I'm talking about like actual trials. There's only
Like
two
of the
actual
Queen.
trials in the show, and that is the first trial where he's accused of falsely and whatnot, and then there's the second trial where he is what's it called? where he's actually putting the prince and the princess on, or the king and the princess on trial. So we're talking about that, and it what's it called? The king was 100% honest about what he had to say. What's it called? So what's it called? In like most situations, I would say the king did like the Chad Kingly move, but at the same time, it's so petty. I can't say it is, because what's it called? It's like, you are put on trial for XYZ. It's like, not only did I do XYZ, I loved it and it was good, and I'd do it again. It's like, I was doing it to protect everyone. Oh. But yeah, mine, she was just actual fucking liar about everything. Oh my god. So I think the worst punishment mine had, at the trial itself, and the worst punishment was the fact that all, like, the people that believed her had to ask again. So this is how the trial went. The queen gets there. She's known that all of this is bullshit, because her shadows have been keeping tracks on everyone, and the shadows actually knew the real story because they were following him at all times. So they knew he didn't actually do that, and so all that information got relayed back to the queen, and the queen was going to go and punish them for it. And what's it called? Pretty much got the information back that her daughter is a Weasley fucking liar. So they put the slave crest on her so that she doesn't lie. Or, even if she does, she can't you can't hide it. What's it called? So when it comes down to it, they grab her, they force her into the slave crest. Which, by the way, this whole scene sparked 2 controversies. But yeah, so a lot of people were saying, actually 3. There's 3 conversations at the time when this episode came out. 1, they were saying how immoral and how wrong it is to put a person on trial where they can't lie. Because,
Oh my god.
I know, like, what's it called? It's understandable that you can get punished if you're found to be lying, but this is weird. It's like actually putting like a crust on them to force them to not lie. It's like, why is that bad? Like, honestly, can anyone tell me why that's bad? Like, if there was an actual way of doing that, because lie detectors in real life are actually bullshit, by the way.
Yeah.
If there was like a real way for that to actually be a thing, I don't see any reason to not have it in a courtroom. In fact, it would be the easiest thing ever. Just question them a few questions that pretty much have to deal with if you're innocent or guilty, and ask them in highly specific ways. Ask the question about 50 different ways just in case if they're being bullshit and whatnot, and it will be the easiest way to figure out if someone is guilty or not. Like, trials would be like super fucking fast from that point onward. But yeah, it would be amazing. But 2. So the second controversy was the fact that they put the slave crest on her, but on her breast, and they were saying how, what's it called? The scene was sexualized and supposed to look sexy, all while shocking her and whatnot. And I was just laughing so hard because when they were describing how it was sexualized, it almost read like a fucking fan fiction. Because it's like, damn, you're putting way more importance on what is being shown than the show itself, because they were taking screenshots and showing it and then acting as if the camera was like staying on that and whatnot, but their screenshot is literally like a single like few frames, and like a whole like it's literally less than like 0.01% of the entire trial. It was like, damn, it flashed on the screen and you're talking like deeply about it. It's like, it's so fucking hilarious to see. Like, people are saying that that was like the main focus of the trial, is making sure that her breasts are exposed and shocked, almost like in a revenge fetish kind of way. Oh my god. And the way they were talking about it almost felt like what's it called? Because the way they were talking about it almost felt like they were trying to say that she was completely stripped naked, but oh man, it was funny. Just saying that. But the last controversy that arose from this trial that actually made me question people's brains is like, you know, I can see people being all puritanical to try to do this, because anyone will take up any argument to demonize the things that they hate, you know, whatever. They can be Puritans all they want. And then the other controversy, which was the two I just said, and what's it called? I can see people somewhat having what's it called? I guess their freedom curbed and whatnot to talk and lie in court. Whatever. I think that's dumb, but hey, I can somewhat see the logic. The one where I started questioning people's brain is so what was trending on Twitter on this episode was the queen was seen as a bad mom.
Oh my god.
So they were saying like the queen is a bad mom, sentencing her own daughter to death. Ultimately, it's also the queen's fault for raising her to be that way. And what's it called? Remember, if she just raised her better, she wouldn't have done that. And then to 100% sentence her to death, why would any mother ever do that? It's like, as a mother, you shouldn't have sentenced your own child to death. You could have punished her. You could have done that. Could have let her free. It's like, no, you sentenced her to your own death. And I was like, I think y'all are actually fucking brain dead. Like, the people that watch this, it's like, oh, damn, she only tried to kill, like, anyone that got in her way. Like, she tried to kill her sister, tried to kill this person. It's like, you know what? You know, just go free. It's like, oh, you little rascal. You. It's like, no, these are serious things. And besides, that daughter is trying to kill her own daughter. And ultimately, at the very end, what's it called? She wasn't actually going to kill her. It was more for show, and she was going to beg the shield hero to let her take her place. And I'm assuming what that item was probably some kind of like, what's it called? Some kind of teleporting item that would have swapped her and her daughter. Because what's it called? Remember, she was talking about swapping, and if Naofumi refused, she was pulling out that weapon or that item. So I'm assuming that all in all, she wasn't going to do it anyways. So you can't even make that argument. But even if she wasn't doing that, I still don't think she was a bad parent for doing that. You know, punishing your child and whatnot. You know, but, you know, for the gravest of crimes, calls for the gravest of punishments. And it was done not from, like, mother and daughter, but it was done from their legal system and how they do justice inside that legal system. Like, it 100% was all in accordance to their own laws, and then Naofumi took mercy on him. Which, by the way, freaking what's it called? I still think he went a little light on them. I know,
agree.
like, what?
I agree.
Yeah. But it's trying to show that Naofumi doesn't want to actually take like real permanent revenge like that. Like she doesn't want to 100% just kill someone, because he literally just like an arc ago told Raphtalia that she's grown more, that she doesn't have to take his life and whatnot. So it would be hypocritical for him to take their lives while also just telling Raphtalia that she what's it called, that she shouldn't do it to him. He didn't stop her from doing it, but he pretty much just said, you don't have to, you're better than that. But whatever you do is your choice. So let's go. In the end, he pretty much humiliates both of them by saying that Mine goes and begged for her life earnestly, without lying, 100%. Literally, the person that she tried to kill, the person that she falsely accused, the person, like, the one that did the most to him, she actually begged him when no one else was going to do it, which it worked. He did stop it, only for her to, like, shortly after it, poison a pie for him. And was trying to feed it to them.
Aimless.
And then the queen legitimately face palmed. Like, in the fucking show, this like serious fucking badass queen, like super lawful good. Like, this person is like the definition of lawful good, the absolute definition of it. They actually just go, they're super serious, and then facepalm. It just made me laugh. The other time she breaks not breaks character, but breaks her facade of being like the super serious person is anytime the chocobos were mentioned. Which was really cute. When she was talking about wanting to ride one. But yeah, oh my god, like, so the importance that they have is the king and the princess were stripped of their rank. They're no longer king or princess at all, from what they said. And then their titles are now trash and bitch. Bitch is her real name, and her adventuring name is slut. Which, by the way, some were saying that was still too harsh of a punishment. But I understand, like, in the context of that world, why that's like absolutely huge, because your reputation's everything. And if you legally have to be called trash, bitch, and slut, like, that is a massive thing. Not only, so it's pretty much, rather than the justice system punishes them, they had society punish them and look at them as if the exact same way they pretty much just made all of society look at him. Except it really isn't like an equivalent, because, you know, no one really does anything towards them. So in way back when, it's like massively, like, if a king goes and is like bowing down to other people or goes like that, it's seen like a massive thing, because if your king goes and shows weakness, that's showing the entire country's weakness. If a king goes and does like any of this stuff, it's like it's like all this like big no for the royalties and of nobles to be acting that way, because it speaks down not just upon them, but upon like all of their society as a whole. And so the fact is, like, these people are pretty much seen as like actual trash and shit like that. It is like a massive blow to their reputation, something that they can never change no matter what. So it is like a really big punishment, but I still, in my opinion, don't think it goes far enough because nothing really seems to came from it. Like, as far as we know, everyone treats them exactly the same. Everyone does it. So all it did was, oh, people now treat Naofumi better. It's like, okay, I guess the story is kind of accurate to real life, as in the sense of even when proven that they were lying, no one really gives a shit that the person that ruined their life went and did all that. But damn, it is just a terrible thing when you think about it. Is like no one really gave a shit that she did all that. They just went and forgave him. But yeah, that's a bit of the trial that I wanted to talk about. The trial itself, it was amazing. I still don't think it went far enough. But if you ask me what they should have done, I myself would have I don't know what punishment I would have done in general, but I do know I could have easily gave them a bit of an out in saying because in the way I see it, if you're going to accuse someone and the punishment for that crime is death, that essentially means you're going to kill them, which also should mean that if found that you were purposely lying about it, the crime for purposely lying about it and like doing it should also be death. So I don't see that being like a wrong sentence for them. I would instead offer it to either change the laws so that that is no longer the punishment. Also, make a much higher burden of proof for people to actually get convicted of it and everything like that. So either change the laws to where it's not actually death or much higher burden of proof, because damn, if it wasn't for the fact that he was a hero, he would have been dead. Like, full stop. And shit like that. And then if the laws changed, I would have changed their punishment, not towards exactly maybe whatever it was, but it just wouldn't be death. If they refuse to do that, then yeah, just kill them, I guess. It's like, okay, you don't want the laws different? All right, then you're the first people to suffer the laws that you want. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'd probably just permanently imprison them in like some kind of some kind of like jester prison. So it's not like a prison that is out in like in bars where they can't talk to anyone, but rather a prison in the open area where it's like in the middle of the town, where and people will see who they are and pretty much laugh and make fun of them. That's probably what I would had, But ultimately, I'm almost positive they're going to be needed future arcs down the line, story wise. So you can't actually imprison them forever because the king is supposed to actually be a master tactician, like strategize everything. Like he's literally like one of the most competent strategic people there are. The show doesn't show that, but they say that. And that's how he got his how he got his position. So he's more than likely going to be useful later on. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? Kyrie?
The other heroes.
The other
Not
heroes.
Yes. The Spoiler alert, heroes.
Oh, okay. So, I actually find spoilers for the plot twist of the end.
Sorry, I'm back. What did I miss?
Spoilers alert for the plot twist at the end. So, the very end, it shows that the people that are invading their world are not doing it because they hate their world or want to destroy the world and whatnot, but in doing so, it saves their world. So, in doing this, they're just trying to save their world and their people and whatnot. There is a choice inside there that the Chocobo mentioned to Naofumi, is that you will later be told to make a choice whether you want to save the world or save the people. Remember, these two things are not the same thing. And so, what's it called? According to the Queen Chocobo, all the heroes before Naofumi have chose to save their people. So I'm kind of curious what it means by save the world or save the people and whatnot. I'm a little spoiled about what the very end is and whatnot, but when it comes down to it, I'm very curious what he's going to do. But the next heroes are all just heroes of like their world, trying to protect their world. It's why that one girl is like so okay. So Glass, the fan hero, I feel her character is a little inconsistent. Remember the first time she came out and everything? She came out after like the wave boss was defeated, and she pretty much said that she was watching them the whole time, and then she wanted to flex her power, so she just let all of them attack her, and then is like useless, 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 and then just beats them all without even trying much and whatnot. She was pretty calm, didn't mind letting people go and everything like that. The very next time the wave happens, she is like, fight for your life, go hard, don't, you gotta kill them now. Like, what's it called? It's not even 100% that he is a lot stronger, but they're saying like their world doesn't have time to waste. They gotta kill him now. It's kill or be killed right now. It's like that is just drastically different from what she was versus what it was. And it was like apparent. But the thing is, the situation is hinted that it was the exact same. The situation of what was happening with her before is still the same situation of what what's it called, of what was happening of what was happening right after that. So when it comes down to it, when she goes and is so when it comes down to it and the situation is there, is like it's exactly the same of a do and die situation is hinted, and yet the first time she's just calm and doesn't even care that they escaped and whatnot. Second time she's like super fucking like, oh my god, do it now, do it now, do it now, I don't care if I die, do it now. It's like you kind of wonder, it's like, did the author just not plan for that at the time when making Glass the first time? Because it just seemed like the Glass was just like the true wave boss and whatnot. And where were her partners? Like her partners just weren't even there, and they next wave they are there. And it's like, I don't know. When it comes down to it, I didn't exactly like the first appearance of Glass after the fact that we know what happened with it. I did like the first appearance of Glass, like when it first came out, but like after knowing the context after it, it kind of makes the first appearance of her a little worse.
Yeah.
It just seems like the author wanted to put a lot of stuff in and do a lot of twists, but forget that they had like concrete things that they did at the beginning. It somewhat hinted at the the multiverse thing, like at the episode 1 and whatnot. But yeah, it was just crazy. But the other heroes were legitimately amazing. They were using abilities that apparently you'd never seen in that world. So inside that world, when they were going and doing like the magics, they were using like the jewels to infuse to do their magic even stronger and whatnot. When Naofumi is using jewel crafting, which by the way, the crafting system inside the show is amazing. But we could talk about that in a bit. But it comes down to it, like they use a different kind of magic. They use a different kind of fighting style. Not really like it isn't magic or whatnot. It's just more of different abilities and different ways to make the stuff. So it's like fighting styles they're like fully not accustomed to, like at all. So it's just one of those things that is like it's an interesting way of fighting.
Yeah, I really like the scythe guy.
What?
I
Yeah,
really like the scythe guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the purpose. Like both both of the sides are not really supposed to want to kill the other side, and both of the sides are supposed to be good, but it's just one's trying to protect their world and the other's trying to protect their world, so they have to fight, which I don't think I fully understand why though, because I don't think it like fully explained why they have to fight. It's like, because what I was thinking is like, are they fighting to destroy the people in that world so that they can retreat to that world? If that's true, then why don't they just go and retreat to that world without killing them? But what's it called? The other thing I'm thinking is like, or does killing that world mean all those spawns that are going to their world will now retreat to that world and take over that world? Because that would make a little more sense, but I still don't know why it 100% has to be like that. Whatnot. I'm still a little confused on at least that part, on how
Me
they're
too.
I'm still a little confused on how they're actually saving their world by doing that, because it's not like the first world is sending people to them, at least as far as we know, and whatnot. So when it comes down to it, it's very it's just some unanswered questions that might get what's it called, might get explored later, but they're in an actual like video game kind of deal. By the way, they're in an actual kind of like video game. Like they literally have video game menus and whatnot and everything, and can see stats, levels, everything. We didn't even mention that. Oh man. So when it comes down to it, I think the crafting system in the game is actually really neat. It seems like you could be anything in there. So in like some video games, you can only pick like one, two, maybe even a couple or professions and whatnot. But it just seems like as long as you could learn it, you could just go do it. So Naofumi was literally like everything. He was a blacksmith. He was a jewel craft. He was an engineer. He was an alchemist. He is an herbalist. He is a miner. He literally is everything. He's a tailor. He's a leather worker. Like he's an enchanter. Maybe I'm not sure about the enchanting, but he's if you can think it, he can do it, and he's learned it. Funnily enough, it said there's an easy way of doing it and then the hard way. And Naofumi has been doing it the hard way the entire time, and he didn't even know that there was an actual easy way. So, what's it called? You could do it the hard way of actually learning and crafting it by hand and doing it, or you could do it the easy way and do game mechanics where you just put it inside your shield and your shield crafts it for you. I think that was probably one of the funniest things he learned, is that he's been doing everything the hard way by hand and like hating all the process with it, and then he eventually finds out, hey, you could just craft it with your shield. By the way, another scene I love. Did you know NFTs are inside the Shield Hero?
Oh yeah, NFTs.
Donks, did you know that NFTs are inside Shield Hero?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to talk about it.
So the NFT, what's it called? The
All right, I'm
NFT.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yay! So
Fuck you both.
so the NFT meme is actually funny. So it's not like the really NFTs, but what's it called? It does the NFT meme of right click save. So if the shield hero picks up any shield, you can copy it and take the ability and whatnot. And it was funny because the what's it called? He didn't know that, and when he finds that out, he goes to the shop owner. He's like, "Oh, you're looking at one of my most expensive ones. I see." And then he picks it up and it copies it to his shield, and it's like, "Oh, sweet!" And so he's just picking them all up, and he's like, "Hey, wait, stop! You're gonna bankrupt me!" And did everything like that. And he was getting pissed off because now Fubi's not actually stealing. He's not doing anything. He's not breaking it. But what's it called? Now Fubi doesn't have to buy it. And the reason he doesn't have to buy it is because, well, it just copied all of it. Everything. Just put all the stats of it, all the abilities of it, all everything. I think it's actually just abilities. But he put the abilities and stats and everything. Probably just abilities into a shield and just copied all that into his shield, and he got a lot stronger with it after that, which was really fucking funny just to see. And he was like pissed off. It's like, oh, fine, do whatever you want. Now Fumi does say he'll pay him back later in the future, but it's just funny to see that he just can pick up and copy and save. Is there any more topics y'all want to talk about?
I'm done.
Yeah, this has been a long episode.
All right, I have like 3 more scenes.
Oh
Alright,
my god, no!
What?
let's go.
All right.
We also have to do the favorite characters.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I'm so tired.
We just talked about the scenes. We haven't even talked about it, the characters. We haven't even done it and whatnot.
Oh my god, why?
This is gonna be a good one.
Why did I recommend this anime?
Oh man, me being super autistic about this show, I love it. So what's it called? I really love that for a lot of people after the trial, the anime ended for them. And a lot of people were talking about and wondering, what is the show going to do now? And a lot of people was like, I don't know, sounds like it would be dragged out and not worth a watch. So a lot of people did drop it, but I do remember Raphtalia got trending on Twitter once. And it was for the next episode. And it was all over my timeline. And it was because what?
It was all over everyone's timeline.
Yeah. It was the best timeline. And it was all because everyone's posting the 2 things: drunken Raphtalia and bikini Raphtalia.
That is still on my timeline. Every day.
What the fuck kind of timeline are you stuck in?
Shield Hero timeline.
How? I want to know this timeline.
How not? It's a topic on Twitter. There's a topic about Shield Hero on Twitter.
All right, so what's it called? It's really fucking amazing. So, drunken Raphtalia, how everyone's talking about how cute she was and everything like that, because the way she looks when drunk. And then it's like got into a drinking contest, wins, and it's like Raphtalia fighting out here to be the best waifu of them all. Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing to see that. And like when people start insulting Naofumi, like she throws down, she goes hard, pulls out the sword and tries to do it. And then when they try to calm her down and say, "Stop, calm down," and everything, it's like, all right, okay, I'm calm. And now that I am calm, I'm going to calmly kill him. And pulls out his sword and is about to kill him.
Mood.
I just laughed so much at that. That was just so great. Oh my god. And just like the entire place just was thrown into panic. Then eventually she did arm wrestle him and just fucking clobbered him. Yeah. And that was that. The EXP place was just fun. I did find the boss a little too convenient, where Raphtalia and Philo's weapons just broke, like almost broke, wouldn't last much longer. It's like, damn, you need new claws and a new sword. Let's see what this boss just dropped. Oh, it dropped new claws and a new sword.
Unless he used what it drops to craft new stuff. I just thought of that. But I don't know why they'd skip that. Actually, I do know why they'd skip that to save time. But who knows?
It just looked like what's it called? I don't know. It felt like it went and he just opened up the inventory and it was those two.
Yeah, still too perfect.
Yeah, it still would take time to craft, even if he used the shield to craft it.
True.
So yeah, I was like, that was a little too convenient. Just a little too convenient. Which, by the way, which I could see the logic of what you're saying, because that was actually the only boss there that dropped, like, weapons. Or the only mob at all. Every mob dropped everything but weapons. But this world was supposed to be like a hyper EXP bonus world. And they went from like early 30s to what they said mid 70s or something like that. But they leveled a lot. They said they were getting so much EXP for all the shit that they were doing. And they were just doing a giant grind fest. They were making more money than ever with the drops and whatnot. But yeah, I really love this show and everything like that. I could probably go on for like another 40 minutes with more scenes, but I do think it is getting a little long. So now let's cut to the characters. What do you like?
Okay,
what, let's
finally.
talk. Let's talk. No. I'm not talking about the most famous or infamous part yet. Not yet. I'm talking about
No,
which.
just
No, stop.
coming back to the characters.
So let's go. Which characters do y'all like and why?
I like
Uh,
Raphtalia.
Sword Hero.
Sword Hero.
Sword Hero is my favorite hero. Like he
Why?
looks like a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he definitely knew what he was doing.
Spear Hero, fuck Bow Hero. Sword Hero knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Sword Hero definitely knew what he was doing when he left that dragon there to kill everyone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I heard Kari say Raphtalia.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason why you say he looks like he knows what he's doing, or what?
Like Spear Hero is just like, oh, I hate everyone, and I'm just going to abandon Shield Hero, and Bow Hero just.
I don't even think that's what he really is like. But yeah.
And Bow Hero just doesn't really have a personality.
Yeah, he does. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Remember, he said, what's it called? With great power comes great responsibility. And he also said something about being bitten by a radioactive spider.
I posted that on fucking Twitter that he said that.
Oh, man. With great power comes great responsibility. Oh, man. Nah, he was just literally wanting to be, like, an actual hero. Like, that he sees out of movies and games and whatnot. Like,
yeah,
that's literally what his personality is. He wants to be seen as cool, calm, collective, hero, stoic, like Legends and Tales do, and seems to have everything down, do the right things for the right reasons. and whatnot, but at the same time, fucks up on it.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's basically it.
yeah, I mean, my favorite is definitely Raphtalia as well. But all right, Smug, you there?
Smug died.
It's been gone for like an hour.
Yeah. You didn't even
Smug
tell
no
me.
longer exists.
You didn't even tell me that he was gonna do something like that.
Anyway,
All right, so I'm going to say something.
he's
What?
going to say something controversial.
The in.
Oh gosh.
So I still find that to be a funny controversy. So what's it called? The opening. It was a.
He's going to talk about the opening.
So what's it called? There is a what's it called? I was just joking about the translation, by the way, but there was a small actual controversy that lasted for like a day or two, and that's when the opening came out, and it sounded like they were saying "my" and then said the N word.
It did sound like he was saying the N word.
Oh man, and a lot of people were saying, of course, the incel anime would also say the N word. And what's it
How
called?
racist can this anime get?
Yeah, I thought the what's it called? The like I think the first person to point it out was joking, but people were taking it actually serious for a while. It's like y'all do know that's a word in Japanese, right? That is nothing to do with the actual, thing of it. Oh man, that was a really fucking funny one. But yeah, whatever. That it was a small, fleeting thing, but it was funny enough to mention.
Yeah.
All right, so time for the most famous, some say infamous, part of the podcast. All right, you get to, uh, best girl.
Raphtalia.
God, let me finish.
Raphtalia.
I need to fucking
No.
finish the fucking speech.
Looks and personality.
I need to
Raphtalia.
say it. You get two characters, one for best personality, and one for best looks. Go.
Raphtalia as well.
Now you can start.
Best personality is Raphtalia.
Okay.
Best looks is mine. I hate her, but she's hot.
What about you, Stonks?
Personality, I think like Philo or something. I did like Philo's personality.
Okay, looks.
Looks Raphtalia after episode 4.
My girlfriend would also kill me if I said anyone except for Raphtalia for personality, because so I did say she was like two characters, like a mixture of those two. So what's it called? I said one was from My Senpai is Annoying mixed with Raphtalia. So personality, I would have to go with Raphtalia. Looks wise, what's it called? I'd go for that the queen. Holy fuck. That queen is so fun. Like when she was getting ready and whatnot, just like how well toned her like muscles and everything and whatnot. I'm not really into like those overly muscly girls and whatnot, but when you look like well fit, that is nice. And what's it called? It just complements also big breasts and everything like that. And her face is just so gorgeous as well. I love the hair and lipsticks and everything. Just everything about the queen. The queen just like is just absolutely amazing and looks fucking hot as shit. So yeah, I will have to go with the queen for looks. She may be ancient, but damn, she looks fine. What do y'all say about that? Huh. All right then. Ooh, so this was most of the podcast. I'm gonna stop it there. What?
Guys.
What?
Looks and personality for guys. You just straight up skip the
Because
man.
no one matters except for what's his face.
Naofumi.
Yeah, that's the bitch. That's the one that matters.
I thought Sword.
No.
I thought Sword looked good.
Mm. No, they're all losers.
I mean, what's
Oh.
called Naofumi for both, I guess, looks and personality. But if I had to choose someone else for looks, despite me hating like every fiber of his being, probably Spear Hero.
Not Spear Hero.
Some would.
Not you. Not us.
Or would we?
I think Smug
Gary.
would, but Smug's
Gary.
AFK.
Gary, you're horny.
No.
All right, so that's the end. There's a lot more to talk about, but I think we could save
we'll
it.
We'll probably continue it after season 2 has ended.
Yep. All right, because I have a lot of theories on what it meant when the Queen's little chocobo said saving the people is not the same as saving the world, and people make that choice all the time, and it's like that must be like a hint to why they are going into like their world and fighting them. And it's like it has to do with those decisions, and I'm like very curious on what it is, and I have a few ideas, but I'll leave that discussion for a later date when we have more knowledge about it, which will probably be in like season 2. There's a few more scenes we could probably talk later in the next time we do the Shield Hero podcast.
Thank you all for coming to our Taku.
Now I'm waiting for Kyrie to start the outro.
Hello. Okay. Thank you for joining us for Weebanomics. This has been Kyrie Loomis at KyrieLoomis on Twitter.com, and these have been my co-hosts, except for Smug.
Smug has fucking died. I'm gonna. I'll do Smug's. Smug's outro. Hello, this has been Smug. Smug Home Slice.
No. Your voice isn't dead enough. You gotta go. This has been Smug.
Hello, this has been Smug Home Slice.
This has been Smug Home Slice at twitter.com/Smug Home Slice.
I am fucking dead.
And I'm Canadian.
I'm also Canadian.
Your turn, Stonky.
This has been Stonk Salesman at stonkwalker.com.
And I'm the Unknown Otaku at the Nonotaku on twitter.com.
This has been Otaku's TED Talk.
And this has been probably one of my most favorite podcasts, and because it's also like I deeply really love Shield Hero, despite the flack that people like just say it's edgy shit that people will forget about. And I was like, no, it's legitimately fucking great story. Bye.
You're welcome, Otaku.
Bye.
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 Smug says bye as well.
Yeah.